Sal, we're doing kind of like a tour of the piers of South Florida.
You know, I'm taking advantage of Crowdsource the Truth being in South Florida. As you know, I am a big fan of Jason's work, and I love the walk and talk concept, which I believe if Jason didn't originate it, he perfected it. Okay, so this is an art form out here. So walking around in beautiful South Florida, we were in Pompano just a week ago, and today we're in beautiful Deerfield Beach, which is right next to Hillsborough. Hillsborough is right down the street. And this is the pier, which recently opened. So this is the first time I am also they remodeled this whole pier.
Know that. So did you see what we have here behind you? This TV? This is like a menu.
This is a menu.
Live fishing cam. You can look here
and see what's going on,
and then go out here and decide what to catch.
What to go with, see what you're going to catch.
Let's walk out there.
This is a beautiful place which still has these stand 6 feet apart nonsense over here, but this is a new pier. It's obviously for fishing, but many other things. And this is Deerfield Beach, which is another beach here in South Florida, where I believe, as you know, Florida is a sunny place for shady people. And this is a place that I think should be a final destination for people if they want to live somewhere peaceful.
It is nice.
Look at this.
I have to say.
You can see this. Even when it's cloudy, it's still better than anything in the northern hemisphere of the United States, or at least the Northeast. And people seem to forget about their dread and their sorrows and anything that's going on in their life. If you come to the beach, see the water, and you feel like you're one with the world and everything is fine. This is beautiful here.
It is. Now, Sal, we got to talk about, it's an ironic thing that we're here on a sunny day to talk about the Minneapolis meltdown.
Yes.
But we got a dangerous situation developing. For people who haven't seen you before, you were in law enforcement. You were an NYPD officer.
Correct.
For 14 years. I don't know, has anybody ever pointed a gun at you? Have you ever had to draw your weapon in the line of duty?
I have had to draw my weapon. I haven't had or saw someone point a weapon at me, but there were bullets that did whiz by me from a distance. Obviously this person was arrested. We chased them. They threw a gun on top of a landing in a housing complex, or it wasn't a housing complex, but
whoops. I think we might have a... Sorry, okay.
There you go. It wasn't a housing complex, but it was a building, and that was as close as I came to ever having to return fire at any
But obviously it's dangerous. When you do anything that makes a law enforcement officer feel like their life is in danger, you're really taking your life. When a cop, look, as much as I have gotten into arguments with NYPD, we know I don't like Joel Matola. If a police officer pointed a gun at me and said, stop, I would do that simply to diffuse the situation.
Or a vehicle telling you to get out of your vehicle.
Because you could get shot.
Correct. Because here's the deal. You don't know this incident in Minneapolis, first of all, to set the table. The problem here is the rhetoric coming out of the leadership there for the last 6 years, meaning Mayor Jacob Frey, who is probably the worst mayor now in America after Eric Adams' departure.
Mamdani.
Well, Mamdani just got there. This guy has...
Give him a week.
He has 6 years. No, I'm sorry. He has 8 years as the mayor now. This is his 8th year. He has 8 years of dread in that city because it's a disaster there. You have, besides the illegal immigrant problem they're having, which is Somali scamming on the side. That's a secondary issue. So just to, let people understand. And during Kristi Noem's press conference, and look, I know that you might think she's the soccer mom of Homeland Security. She is clearly not. She should not be leading Homeland Security. She got the job.
She's like the before and after of plastic surgery.
Yeah, Kristi Noem is got the job because of patronage, her loyalty to MAGA. So she got this job, but during her press conference, she did mention a few things. First of all, this Asian had been dragged by a car about 6-7 months ago.
So he's on edge.
He's on edge already. And of course, that would mean that the tactics of ICE should come into question.
Modified since then?
Yeah, well, I think he was injured, but the tactics, how they surrounded the car, which we'll get to, was completely wrong. The tactics are horrendous. I'll agree with. But she doesn't address this. I don't know what the training is. I have no idea.
And they just recently had a big hiring push, so maybe there's newer agents.
Newer agents, or they're
less experience.
They also might be sending agents to different areas, or people that are not used to where they are. But that doesn't excuse their tactics, which were piss poor. I'll give you that one. Now,
it's technical terminology.
Now, I mean, it's beautiful fishing here, right? You could almost forget about the world when you're here.
Yeah.
So, and the water's crystal clear.
It does look brand new, this pier.
It is. It's brand new.
It's great.
I mean, it's not Santa Monica per se.
What's international about it?
This pier?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's the area. I guess the only other pier that's even close would be Pompano down there.
But it's the international fishing pier. Whoops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is an international fishing pier. But this is where you would come to take a breather in life, and not think about Christy Nome and her wonderful ways of leading ice.
Do you ever go fishing, Sal?
I have never fished, no.
Wow.
I've been on boats, but I have never tried to fish.
It would
but
be
I eat fish.
an interesting thing. Yeah, it would be. I should really. I've done it, but not really since I was a kid.
This is very relaxing for people.
Yeah.
You can almost forget that the world is falling apart at the seams in certain areas, and you come here and say, the world is
I wonder what
great.
you can catch over here. Oh, look, and you can measure them.
Yeah. You also have the board where you would put the fish and you could cut it up. It's over there. It's always like that on the pier, but this pier obviously a lot different than the last pier.
What are you usually catching over here?
Me, mostly blue runners and just small bait fish.
Piranhas, did you say?
No, blue runners.
Blue runners. Are you from Australia?
No, I'm from South Africa.
South Africa. So that's why it's the international pier. You're international.
No clue, probably.
Thanks for making the pier international.
I'm telling you, this is they just redid all of this, so this is all, I believe, either redone or brand new, because this was closed for quite a while and I wasn't able to come here. But
So the tactics of ice.
The tactics of ice need to come into play because they don't have the tactics, they didn't use the tactics correct in that car stuff. But
why don't you apply to ice?
I'm going to be 44 years old now. I don't want to, I guess you would restart at 44. I'd have to do 20 years to be 64. I don't want to work forever. But
to get a pension, you mean?
Yeah. So, but there is a catch to this, is that I was talking about the mayor. His rhetoric has been that ICE is all the problems of Minneapolis. Before this, it was the police during George Floyd. It is his own rhetoric that has led to the demise of the people. Now, in the town, as you know this personally, you go up to a police officer, what could you do? In New York City, you could file CCRB complaints.
They do nothing.
You could fall on the ground and say, oh my God, he just touched me, false arrest. You could do all kinds of things and they'll pay you. That doesn't work with federal government.
I think you have to be black.
These protesters / rioters don't understand the two concepts. There's federal and then there's local PD.
Right.
Local PD falls under a completely different statute when it comes to how you can file complaints on them and sue them, because federal government has an inspector general which won't take your complaint seriously, but the police department has internal affairs and they have maybe the state inspector general. But in this instance, it's a federal issue. So the people there already are set up to make these bogus complaints there since George Floyd and all that incident. And they believe they're entitled, which looks like this little group there feels entitled, calling themselves ICE watchers. So then we get to
they said she was a legal observer.
A legal observer. But the main thing is, when you observe, you don't become part of the act.
Can't interact, right.
No part of the act, because that's how, if you watch the movie Lord of War, at the very end when Nicolas Cage and his brother were dealing arms to these dictators in another country, there's a golden rule. You don't ever get in the middle of the actual action. The brother took one of these grenades and blew up half the load. So since they were counting diamonds at the table, saying this was mine, this was yours, his brother then took a second grenade and they shot and killed him. So Nicolas Cage walked over to him, and as he has the pin, he's pulling it out, Jared Leto. Nicolas Cage puts the pin back and hands it over to the guy that shot his brother. And even though, he's lost morally, he said, I was still entitled to half the diamonds because half the load was still there. And the golden rule is you never act with the gun dealers. You don't jump into the fray. You sell, you observe, you don't jump in and take up the arms with them. You understand? So that's the rule here. You can observe, just like people tape the NYPD all day. Would you now get in the middle of arrest and push them around and put your car to block them?
You're going to get arrested.
No, you're going to probably get either summons or arrested. But in this case, they're not cops. They don't write summonses. They arrest you. So,
now hang on a second though, because there's some people who are debating that video. You now have come up with a new piece of video that I think a lot of people hadn't seen. Let's take a look at this for a second and we'll see a new perspective.
Which is very important for
change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
I mean, so pretty clearly right there, she hit him with the car.
Correct.
It's pretty nuts.
And what makes this interesting is no one's ever spoken of, at least in the liberal media or any media, you just hear that a woman of 3, a lesbian, they love throwing that word
with
around.
Stuffed animals in the car.
LGBTQ, that's what matters, not a person's life. That this LGBTQ woman with 3 children now is no longer with us and they're leaving with just another mother, apparently. That's one of the this is one of the phrases I heard on mainstream media.
Right.
The tactics, like I said, you never jump in front of the car.
Right.
I don't even know how this guy has he has a phone on him, because you know.
Right. It doesn't look like a body cam.
But it's not a body camera. It's a phone, which ICE doesn't have a body camera.
Well, it's weird.
But still, the
Where do you want to go? Over here or on the beach?
I would go.
This is a supercharged Jaguar.
Yeah, this like I said, this is a wonderful area.
So he's nobody's trained this guy. He's standing in front of the car.
He's not trained in the proper tactics of conducting a felony car stop, which is what they're trying to do there, because you were interfering with their work. Apparently she was there for a while. Their car had broken down.
They were kind of antagonizing them. The woman's like, come at us and stuff.
Yeah, she was antagonizing them. So the problem is, when you do actions like that, you can stop these people. I mean, I did it as a police officer. Obviously, we don't get in front of the car and draw a gun, because that might happen, which they would teach you these things.
It would promote the person to run you over.
And this is what's been going on, because yesterday in Portland, Oregon, 2 ICE agents that were conducting a car stop due to the person driving has got an ICE warrant, an ICE detainer warrant on him. He tried to run them over.
Wow.
So this is a thing that's now, let's just run over law enforcement. And you have to draw a line. And I understand, listen, a lot of people have their own personal feelings. It was a murder, it was this, it was that.
Right.
No, I'm gonna tell you what it is. The tactics are terrible. I would never do that as a police officer.
It's a problem waiting to happen.
Yeah, I was trained a different way. But is it justified? That's the only question you need to ask. And the answer is gonna be yes, because they're citing a federal statute that he will get immunity for taking his action.
Right.
And I could go back and present another case to everyone without even citing law. Michael Byrd, Lieutenant Michael Byrd of Capitol Police, that shot and killed Ashley Babbitt. What happened there?
Nothing happened to him, but that was way worse, wasn't it?
He was indemnified. It was worse. It was cold-blooded.
Because she didn't have a weapon and she wasn't threatening him.
No. But same statute was used. He felt fearful.
What is that statute?
It's a federal statute, I believe, that when you feel fearful
of your life, you can use deadly force.
Now, the vehicle, of course, was used, as you can tell. She hit him. It's not she was aiming the car. She hit him. And now you could tell a lot more that's going on. It was a second agitator.
Right.
What you don't see on video, obviously, was they had parked the car, apparently, and blocked them in while they were working. Look,
so the tension is building. These guys feel like you're going to kill us.
Yeah, you antagonize. Then you almost come into contact with them, and then you expect that, oh, everything's going to be fine, right? No. This is the dangers of this job. First of all, they shouldn't even be doing this because, again, Mayor Jacob Frey, the worst mayor in America, because you're a sanctuary city, what happens is ICE has to take law enforcement action on their own. But what really was supposed to happen is when you arrest people that have ICE detainer warrants, you notify ICE.
Give them over, the cops.
Because he's not doing that, they have to go out of their way.
Chase him down.
And while they're doing law enforcement action, what happens? The police are not there to either A, help them, or B, surround an area where, you know, if they have a shooting, if they get hurt, if a perp gets hurt, what happens? You need transport to the hospital and you need to block roads. And the police would do that. There's no cooperation. So due to this no cooperation, this entire situation occurs. So the real problem here, they're making it political.
Breakdown from the top.
Yes, and Jacob Frey is the person to blame. He is the mayor, and the governor there is an atrocity to leadership, which is Tim Walz.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The
He's
senators there,
inciting a civil war.
Congresswoman
Sal, ADD moment. Look at this off-road vehicle.
Oh yeah,
That's like a camping trip in a van.
and it's a newer version of it.
Yeah,
They have
of
an
the
air conditioner
Winnebago.
on top. You can see all these people with the RVs. As you know, our friend Eric Dim, he
Oh,
loves
that's
the
a
RV
Mercedes. Yeah, well, he sort of was involuntarily brought into the terrible situation with his son.
life. Yes.
Poor kid.
God rest his soul. Poor Derek. And Eric Dim is a good guy. Oh, those guys are, they're all good guys. They're finest and filthy.
Actually, we should also mention that now is an excellent time for people to go to salgreco.com
Yep.
and to support you by going over to, there's all these tabs here. People can click on the support tab and send you some money because you are an independent journalist with a particular focus in law enforcement, and you always have excellent information, especially about NYPD, but this type of insight right now is good. It's like what you're giving us. Because, in my former industry, Sal, when you're below the line, if you're late, you get fired. The cops just show up whenever you want.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. But still, the moral
Oh, wait, sorry. And people can also follow you on X at Sal Greco.
At the Sal Greco.
Where else are people getting all of your social media stuff, Sal?
So Instagram is the same, at the Sal Greco, and also I have TikTok and Instagram, and you can watch my show on YouTube and Rumble at the Sal Greco Show. At the Sal Greco Show. Catch all the show highlights, all my clips. If I come out with any little tidbits, any news, everything's up there, and on X at the Sal Greco.
So back on Tim Walz, because he's
terrible.
being insanely irresponsible. He's not saying, all right, let's all just calm down until we see the evidence and go through all this and cooler heads prevail. He's saying we're at war with the government.
We're at war. He's causing, by the way, right now in Minnesota, in this area, which is not too far from the George Floyd incident,
Right.
There are now protests, and there'll be
Of
riots.
course.
And this is going to become the next. They're trying to make this is a political football they created. It's a sad situation. It's tragic what happened, but again, just follow the law. I don't understand. Look, you could observe, like I said, but if you were driving and you saw a car accident and you saw police officers either talking to someone, about to handcuff someone, would you get out of your car to go over to right where they are, get in their face? No. Now you're part of the act. You understand? That's what you can't do. One person observes, kind of like the Highlanders. There were the observers and the Highlanders, if you remember that show. And only one, there couldn't be only one. You would have to decapitate the other Highlander and take his spirit and soul.
Details.
Yeah, but this was the show, and they were the observers. They were humans. Because these guys were immortals. The humans observed. They never got part. They were never part of the
started
act.
with Sean Connery.
Sean
didn't it?
Connery was a good movie, Highlander. But to just take a concept of who's supposed to observe, and then when the observers turn around and think they're part of the show,
Right.
it's over. Just like you guys out there that think you vote when you're voting, low information voters, they're using you guys as political footballs,
Yeah.
WWE, whether it's Mamdani, Trump, Eric Adams, whoever you want. Great car.
That's the supercharged jet.
They're all WWE and also using, the same WWE storylines, promos, and you feel that you're part of the show, but no, you're the spectator. You're the mark. You understand?
Even when I'm arguing with Joel Matola or whatever, when the cops tell me to do something, I understand that if you start defying that, you're about to get your ass kicked.
Correct. You're gonna get you get arrested. You get summons.
It's gonna hurt.
If they just tell you back away, stand over
You
there,
do it.
Just stand
You
over
have
there.
to do it.
they're not gonna. Now, if they keep coming over to you, that's a different story. But if I'm standing here and telling you just stand 20 feet away, I don't care.
Yeah.
People don't do that. They like to antagonize.
I know.
A lot of these audit guys, I see them too. New York City audits, and,
Oh, yeah.
or what, Long Island audits, and I kind of like some of their work.
He's good, but he does push the edge.
Yeah, you can't push. Do not get in people's faces, cops' faces. Film in front of them.
Actually, people have even seen me get physically assaulted by the cops. When I went to the
Correct.
14th precinct,
I remember that.
based on that guy, Long Island audit, he had a federal case against the cops where they said, no, the police cannot put up a sign that says you're not allowed to record inside
Correct.
the
You
public
can't-
areas of the
you-
precinct.
You can't do that.
So I went in there recording in the 14th precinct because I knew they were going to give me guff. And the guy, what was his name, McLaurin, physically grabbed me and ejected me from the place. Now, I yelled at him, but I didn't get into a fight with him. I mean,
No.
you're definitely going to get shot.
And that's the problem. There are laws. All you have to do is follow. You know how Eric Andrews say, I follow the law, which he doesn't. But you follow the law, right? And it's real simple.
Z06?
It should be a newer version.
No, he's just got a plastic thing on
But
it.
it's
It's a
definitely
C8, but not a
Corvette.
Z06.
You don't see these. You don't see these in New York City.
Sounds good.
You know, because you'll have all those
No, you get
broken
those.
potholes that are never fixed because every mayor has failed in New York City for the last 25,
Oh, yeah,
30
no.
years.
Ma'am Dami was down there at the Williamsburg Bridge filling in a pothole. And then I saw somebody complaining that they're ticketing bicycles at some red light at the Williamsburg Bridge. They should be ticketing bicycles riding on the sidewalk.
Listen, I saw his press conference the other day, his first one. His thing is, look, there's you need three things to be a politician. You need to look, you need to deliver on your actions, and you have to have the charisma, to bring people in. He's got 2 out of the 3. What doesn't he have? His actions.
No, his best
He
skill.
has no actions. No actions.
His best
He's a salesman.
skill
Good
is-
salesman, I tell you that.
Exactly. Being
Great
able to
salesman.
speak for long periods of time with complicated words that appear to make sense, but as you try to listen to what he's saying, you're like, what the hell is he talking
because
about?
it's all a bunch of word salads, or like
Exactly.
I say, non-answer answer, which we saw yesterday with Christine Clark being announced to that head of that committee that he put her in.
Sia Weaver?
Yeah, and then Sia Weaver's another person. So there's 2 failed people going in the administration. First press conference, Christine
Crying
Clark,
upon
she
questioning.
gave you a non-answer answer. You're like,
Who is Clark? Who is
she
Christine
is.
Clark?
She just got it. I think it was a committee, human resource or something. She got in, and I saw her first question. She gave, "What are you going to do?" No specifics, all words, all the non-answer answer runaround. And it was
Yeah.
so bad that then Mamdani was talking about a different question that he's going to answering. He went back to re-answer this and still gave you the word salad. So that's just telling you this is the setup of how this administration is going to be. Because
He's very good at that.
He's very good because he's a novice politician. He was not in the state. He was an assemblyman that was never there. I told these people this. You were going to get this. He's learning on the job. This might take years.
But
You're
he's
gonna be
good.
in
He's good at
serious trouble.
calmly explaining nothing.
Of course.
He'll go on and on and on. He's talking about getting rid of the special response group and having some
SRG. Yeah.
better way to deal with the First Amendment. But we already know
There is no. What is
from
the better way?
my personal encounter with him that he has a serious misunderstanding of what is the First Amendment and what is a mob crime.
Yeah, he doesn't. So his problem is much like.
Should we go down to the beach, or is that too sandy with shoes?
I believe it's too sandy. I would love
Yeah.
to go down here, but so the problem here is.
Let's
that-
go into the town a little
Yeah,
bit.
Mamdani, had a press conference too with Governor Hochul and the soccer mom, Jessica Tisch, the police commissioner. She is the one and only soccer mom.
Yes.
So all 3 of them, the problem is their stats, everything they said is a complete fabrication. I showed on my show.
Crime stats?
Yeah, my friend has a pizzeria on 525 Grand Street. Been dealing with a complete skell that on video goes in.
What's a skell?
A skell is like a neighborhood
Crackhead?
He's always committing crimes. So the guy jumps his counter,
Whoa.
then tries to open his cash register. Only the pizza man what stops him. He keeps going after it. Then he
Damn.
spits on one of the employees and
Holy
gets out of the
cow.
store. He's been involved in numerous other incidents there and other stores in that area. He's been banned from all the stores.
People watching in Texas and other states are thinking that guy would be shot immediately.
You're like, what? This really happens? So they don't know what to do. So I get the video and I put this out because this is what happened. They went to the police station. They went to the 7th precinct. The owner of the pizzeria directly went there.
Yeah.
Straight guy. He's not one of these guys. Not cheating.
Where is
on his
7th
taxes.
precinct?
Lower East Side, Pitt Street. I think
Okay.
the address is 7.5 Pitt Street, or 19.5 Pitt Street is the actual address.
Yeah.
So they go there, and what do they tell them? They have the video, because remember, the video's on the camera system. So they say to the officers, or actually I believe it was the supervisor, because they're the ones making the shots. Here's the video of the incident.
Right.
It is not what they're trying to write, which they wrote. They said, well, it's an attempted pettit larceny, which is an add-on charge, but it's a burglary in
spitting,
3rd degree.
Isn't that assault?
It's no harassment. And the reason they're saying this is they said, well, we can't download your file on your camera, it's too large.
What?
Yeah, so that was the excuse they used. But really,
Oh my God.
the excuse is, here's the real excuse. The soccer mom keeps telling you retail theft is down, every crime is
They
down.
don't want to report it
Correct.
as that.
They don't want to report the felony, which is burglary in the 3rd degree. Meanwhile, the patrons in the store, the people that work there, and especially the owner, 40 years almost. This place has been there since 1989.
Wow.
What do you do to that owner of the store? How do you answer someone who pays his taxes, has been a...
He's going to go out of business
He's
because
gonna go-
everyone in
Oh.
there is thinking a criminal could come in at any
What are
moment.
we going to do? Because this guy got kicked out of a cafe on the street. They don't want him there. This is the problems you see in New York City. Now, Mayor Mamdani, Mr. Reform, he might have to answer this because the soccer mom is telling everyone, well, everything is great. She had this big press conference. Crime is down. So basically, this is a way that they downgraded crime. So this is, right now, a misdemeanor when it's a felony. It's not they can't close any patterns. This guy's in a bunch of other crimes and they don't ever report the right way. Pettit larceny.
What do you mean they can't close a pattern? Like if you constantly had this guy on
harassing you and
felonies?
going into the stores doing the same thing? Because what is this guy doing? He does the same thing in other stores. Apparently this guy also went into a bathroom and chased females into a bathroom. I don't know if that was another story that happened. And
That guy's crazy.
that's what this guy did, and no one is doing anything about it. Nobody. Yet you keep complaining. The police department, remember, they work for you. They don't work for the soccer mom and the governor. They work for the people. You, as a police officer, as a supervisor, you write down the report. If it's a burglary, you spell it out. It's a burglary. Don't try to sit there and rearrange how the crime is because the captain tells you otherwise, or the inspector, because he's trying to buddy up and get his, bump up, because that's a false report. You're actually
That's
falsifying
funny.
documents, and it's a felony.
They did that to me, and I thought they were doing it because they figured that the guy wouldn't get prosecuted for the bigger crime.
That's not their decision. The decision is going to be of the prosecutor, which you are the reporter, you are the defendant, you are going to go to court. That's their decision, not the NYPD, not anyone in the police department. They're making the decision for you, and it starts from the top. Every police commissioner for decades now has been doing this. This one just happens to do it in a weaponized fashion because the soccer mom has a lot of control over the media. Governor Hochul, she was holding her hand there at the press conference.
Wow,
'cause,
what?
Mayor Mamdani doesn't even want her. So he's being strong-armed by her because, she needs his endorsement. She
money.
endorsed him. Yeah, all this nonsense. So that's what really happened at this press conference, if you pay attention. This is the largest police department in the world. I am showing you basically the inside baseball of how this works.
That's exactly
and people
right.
should pay attention to this because this is what's going on in a town like Minneapolis. Crime spiked to a high there about 2020. Obviously, the city burnt down. There was tons of crime that ain't being reported. And then suddenly it took a drastic step downwards in 2022 and 2023.
They just stopped reporting.
Which then in 2024, it spiked up again. All it is they know how to play the numbers game. Trespassing is burglary. Assault 3 is, or the minor assault is a robbery. This is what they do. Oh, somebody stole your wallet? It's just lost property. This is a game they've been playing for years, but now it's completely been weaponized. And the classification of crime, now there's an act now in New York City, and the city council passed it. Shout out to a guy I don't like at all, Yusef Salam, who actually helped get this passed. It's the Bill of Transparency, 1237A. It's in New York City. Now with this law, they have to be transparent with the crime stats. So this little issue that just occurred.
But who can enforce that?
Well, city council.
But how will they know?
Because now they're going to actually have the real crime stats. They're going to see it. You can't just you as a police officer, But more importantly, a supervisor. You cannot just downgrade a crime because you feel like doing it.
Right.
That's what you're doing. It's not your job.
No, that is what they do. That's what they did
But
on the scene with me.
why should we reclassify crimes, Jason? You pay taxes.
Shouldn't.
You report something. Who am I as a police officer or a sergeant or lieutenant or captain to tell you that's not robbery?
And you know what? That's what they did to me at Twitter as well. These are nice apartments here, Sal.
Remember
when I got assaulted outside of Twitter, they said there's no evidence, there's no assault, get out of here. That was Lieutenant George Ibrahim.
Correct.
And then the smoothie king, Chandler Castro, carrying out his orders. That guy.
This is what gets me riled up, because the people have a right. You know, I was like this even as a cop, and it's you have to be objective and still do the right thing. Everyone I ever arrested, whether they hated the moment I arrested them or not, over 95, really, almost all of them would tell me, "You're the coolest cop I met, and I love the way you speak to me. I'm not an animal." Even if the guy we fought in the street, when it was over and I was fingerprinting him, the guy realized what he would do, what he did, and he felt sorry because he knows he messed up.
It starts the rehabilitation right there.
And that's your rehabilitation. But he said, out of all the police officers I ever dealt with, you're logical, you're objective. So many of them told me this. This is after they were drinking for hours too. Once we got a little bit sober, all of a sudden, hey, you're right. And then that only starts the rehabilitation process.
Maybe respect for the police in the future.
But you get respect, but he doesn't respect the other guys that were calling him names. You never kick a guy when he's down. You also don't make decisions for others. You remember, you work for the public. This is a big thing.
Sal, you should be training police, because what you're saying makes sense, even when you're not getting arrested.
You may not
Chandler Castro and all those cops, they made me hate the NYPD.
Because they don't know how to explain things. You have to have an understanding.
It violated my rights.
And I'll tell you something, I used to be, there was a person that clearly isn't all there, would call the precinct and ask for me on the phone. Why? Because when I spoke to her, I would stay on the phone 20, 30 minutes, even if it's long. But you know what she says? You're the only person that cares about what I have to say, what's going on in the neighborhood, because she has complaints and thoughts about what's going on in the neighborhood. Nobody cares. You go to these the town meetings, the local precinct meetings and stuff, community council meetings.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about it. Oh, she's the lunatic. She's not a lunatic. It's out of those crazy things she's saying. One or two of those things, I go, wait a minute, it makes sense. Kind of like the conspiracy theorists, right? One person would say 9/11 was an inside job. Oh, you're crazy. But you know something?
Start to look into it.
Out of the crazy stuff there's one or two things that'll stick out and go, there's a good question. How did that happen?
Right.
But you wouldn't have done it if you questioned, if you just went along with the perception management, controlling the narrative. That's what these guys like to do. That's the stuff that I don't want to go along with. So I'm not against people. I'm not against the police. I'm there to try to do the right thing. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has their own thought. And you
this
have
guy
to
might
respect
be onto
it.
something
There
here.
you go. This
Central
is what I
bank
like.
digital
Jesus
currency
saved
and
me.
Jesus. He's the one-stop shop.
This is what I like. And you can call him too. He has a number and everything.
Oh, wow.
The mark
Let's
of the
talk.
beast. The mark of the beast here. This is interesting.
Now,
you never know what you could catch on even
true.
in Florida, see? This is the land of opportunity.
let's continue this way.
Well, the bridge is open, see?
So there'll be a lot of traffic for a
Yes.
minute. Oh yeah, they love the drawbridges around here.
This is the town. We have drawbridges here almost, every half a mile, every mile.
It's a little
A1A.
annoying, to tell you the truth. It creates all this traffic.
Yeah, but this is a part
It's
of
a
South
quaint,
Florida.
right?
We're used to this. We know what's going to happen, and every half an hour or every 25 minutes, I believe the drawbridge will go up until 9:30, I think, at night. So you
Now,
just
Sal, wait a
factor in.
second. Is there any progress? Do you think now with Mondami, are you going to have any progress in your case? Didn't they say they were going to hire back? You didn't really, you had nothing to do with the vaccine, but
I had nothing to do with that.
so any progress with your case? Anything going to happen under Mondami that's going to be more favorable for you?
Well, they're going to have to make a decision whether we're going to litigate this or do we talk this.
It's been going on for years
It's
now.
going on for 4 years because you have a vindictive guy that was mayor, that was a complete failure in life at everything. He's a total grifter, and he takes things personal. I didn't fire me. You and your goons did. You listened to your goons.
Is he watching, you think,
He might
Eric
be.
Adams?
I understand he was always watching. He always had his goons watching me, but he's a guy that's vindictive. He was the leader of the Crumbs crew.
Yeah.
So in the end, instead of trying to incarcerate every one of his guys, it's him. It was always him. He either corrupts you or takes people that are corruptible into his circle. He doesn't do business with straight people because he can't corrupt them.
How is he able to afford Elon Musk's attorney? What's that guy's name? Alex Spiro.
Alex Spiro. That's a real... He's also now, I believe, in Trump's circle, too.
Spiro is?
Spiro, but Elon Musk was having dinner with him, and Elon Musk is reposting Eric Adams now.
See, there's something weird going on there.
And I never understood that, because he's pretty much... Eric Adams is basically like a done deal. Like, who's going to
what's going to happen with Eric Adams now? He's not going to... Who would want to hire him to do anything?
He would probably I would think, get involved in lobbying and, stuff like that. Or
go back to rolling joints out of dime bags. What was he talking about?
Yeah.
Nickel bags and running numbers.
Become a business partner with the one and only mob associate, Jimmy Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Frito 2, with his even more trafficking coming out the back door. Who knows with this guy? He's capable of anything, Eric, but if he gets involved, he's not going to be straight. He's never been a guy that rolls straight. He's a guy that's always running around looking for the next scheme.
Exactly.
This has been his whole MO, his whole career. Anyone in New York City that was fooling himself, thinking he was going to be good, man, you got suckered. And then you get suckered again. You voted for this guy who doesn't even know what to do. And it's so apparent and it's scary. Like, Mamdani needs months of training. I don't understand. True. Like, and they voted for this guy.
He needs months of training to not know what he's doing.
Yeah, he doesn't know, because he's like, okay, well, you wonder, is this guy just going to approve everything his cronies tell him, or is he going to actually do research? Because New York City's at a breaking point where
it is.
You need to worry about what you're going to implement, laws, public safety. Okay, you got a real estate market, people getting squashed. What is he going to do? They said a lot on that campaign trail, and I don't think a lot of that stuff is achievable.
I agree.
So
he
now
already
what do you do?
raised
You got to
the fares.
pivot. And like I said, I haven't destroyed him I did on the show the other day, because Christine Clark and him are like, I don't even know what I was watching. But now it comes to the time we got to put up or shut up. And the problem is, he's not, in my opinion, he's not been a man of action yet. I don't know if he will be, but that's going to be the most important part of how New York City is run. So far, I think he had executive orders and all this other stuff he's doing in his first
child
week.
care. He wants to now pay people to have more kids. That system's going to be gamed and rigged, just like it was
and the
in
guys
Minneapolis.
he puts in charge are going to be doing that. It's like you're setting New York City up to be another Minneapolis.
It already is. That neighborhood association of intercultural affairs was just obviously stealing money.
It's like, and this is, remember, it's a financial capital of the world. Whether you like New York City or not, you cannot have it collapse, because then the whole country will collapse with it. So you need this to somehow still function. And him being, as Eric Adams likes to say, the CEO of the largest corporation in the world, which is New York City, as the mayor, you got to know what you're doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. That's scary. I've seen him. He talks great. Like I said, he's got 2 out of the 3 things you need. When it comes to action, he doesn't have it. He's got the look, he's got the style, he's got the swagger of a guy, not the swagger like Eric Adams. He looks the part. He sounds good, he looks good, but he doesn't do it. You understand? That's what you need. You need him to do.
I think we're about to get rained on, but you just reminded me with the con sofrito that there's new allegations against Letitia James, right?
Correct.
What was that about?
Apparently, they're now looking into some payments to her hairdresser. As you know, this woman has so many, she has so many appearances of impropriety, we get lost. We still have never heard anything about her little con sofrito human trafficking things that happened there, and somehow we never got an investigation because she's the Attorney General. And now she's involved with her hairdresser. Her hairdresser's being looked at. She's being looked at.
What did the hairdresser do?
I guess there's some payments, could be campaign related, money that's being allocated from the campaign to that. We can get under that, I believe.
Yeah, let's do it.
Starting to really rain.
Yeah.
We got this could happen in Florida also too, folks. You're getting a little bit of everything on this. We didn't get the pelicans.
I was going to say, last week it was like National Geographic. You're like the Sicilian David Attenborough.
Yeah, we got all that stuff, but today we got right here. You see, you got a little safe spot. But see, this is the thing. In Florida, anything can happen, but it's always still a better place to live than, let's say, something up north where You have people like Mamdani and Eric Adams and, you know, other mayors of other cities, Boston with Wu. By the way, the police chief just left that
Boston?
city. He has some kind of pride in him because she is another one that says, Boston's the greatest city in the world. Yeah,
Let's ruin it.
She has ruined it. Completely ruined it, okay? So the police chief, he's leaving. He said, I'm out of here. So she got to pick another guy, and we'll see what happens in Boston if it gets any worse than what it's been, because there's another city that's been destroyed. And the common trend here,
Democrats.
blue cities, they need a lot of help. Jacob Frey, the leadership is just stealing and acting like they don't know anything. They're not passing the right laws. It's not fair.
But you're talking about Mamdani's new child care for all. I mean, this is socialism.
That is socialism.
And frankly, there are certain people who, if you can't afford to raise a child, maybe that's kind of like social Darwinism telling you don't have a child. I think a lot of people who are responsible wait to have a child and don't just say, well, I want everybody else to give me money. Meanwhile, they're also making other policies that are get everybody who can pay taxes to leave the city, let everybody else steal money, like the Neighborhood Association of Intercultural Affairs. So everybody's leaving the beach now because it's raining, and it's going to become extremely crowded in here. We might.
It could be. This is the only safe spot in the whole area, and unless you want to go into the overhang, but you're gonna get some raindrops on you. But this is Mother Nature at its finest. Right?
That's right.
I wish I had my umbrella, but I didn't think this one through. There you go. There's a couple of brave souls running. They want to be brave.
Back to the beach.
Yeah.
That really came on quickly.
I was once brave. I wore a uniform. Very brave.
Actually, you know what I saw over there? They have the some kind of memorial to people who are fallen, I think,
What?
police officers and also military. It's that little hut.
Here in Florida, we honor our own. We have police right in front of us, in fact. And we respect the law. The majority of us here anyway. If you come from New York City, you may not, but, you know, not everyone in New York City is like that, but we respect the law here. And there's a system in place, and people respect that. In other cities, for whatever reason, like Minneapolis, they have trained these people to not respect it. And by the way, I know they're bussing people in as we speak.
I'm sure, but when you get the governor up there saying we're at war with the federal government, it sends a signal. I mean, like I said, if he went out there and said, now wait a minute, this is a nuanced situation, let's wait until, because like you just showed us that evidence, I hadn't seen that.
Oh yeah.
I had some questions of was it necessary for the guy to shoot or not. I mean, again, I think necessary versus did you provoke him, and like, well, you know, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
But when you see that video that you showed, that's what I'm saying. If Waltz had said, let's wait until we see the evidence before everybody goes crazy, he's stoking the flames.
This is the problem. They teach us that in the police department as well. You never jump to a conclusion. You want to know all the facts.
Right.
You want to give a preliminary, roundabout, idea of what's going on. And then from there, you work your way through. I think this was one of the big things that happened in that Vegas shooting years ago, which you also covered, by the way. It was excellent work you did then.
Thanks.
But you have to have a preliminary discussion, preliminary, we'll say, facts that you get. You can't give too much because you're still working on things. You don't want to let bad guys know what you're doing, but you want to let the public know. You want to calm them down before you go for the throw, the big arrest, wherever it is. And in this instance, that should have been done here.
We never found out what happened at that Park Avenue. You remember that guy went up to the 33rd floor, shot up the NFL or whatever?
That's essentially been
It just wiped that
kiboshed.
away.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Just washed away. Soccer mom, don't blame her. Everything's fine. The NYPD does a great job. Crime is down. You've never seen anything like it. But yet you can't walk the streets without worrying about someone's going to jump you, spit in your face, jump the counter in your
Pizza
store.
place.
But in a pizza place, you can't even eat pizza in peace. Nothing. It's like New York has become really. You just don't know what's going to happen. In the past, you felt safe under Bloomberg and Giuliani.
That's true.
And it's been the complete opposite. Now you don't feel safe.
Definitely.
See?
They destroyed Giuliani.
But
there's another, before the soccer mom, there's another question. What happened with Donlan's lawsuit? Is that still going?
That is still going, and I'm pretty sure the police department, now Mamdani has a new head of corporation counsel. Also the Department of Investigations, the head of Department of Investigations just resigned yesterday as well. I think her name is Jocelyn, I don't want to butcher named Struber.
Why did she resign?
Because she said I guess they're going to go in a new direction. They want a new person in there, which is their prerogative. He's
As the mayor, yeah.
He can put who he wants in there.
The direction of allowing crime.
She was there to prosecute Eric Adams because DOI
That
was
failed.
and of course they botched that one too, and Trump should have never gotten involved in that. But she is now out, so we got to see who he puts in. What happens with all the previous investigations? What about the ones that are going on right now that you don't know about, that I know about a little bit? And we're going to see how this goes forward, because obviously now Mamdani should be the face of, I'm going to clean up public safety corruption, meaning NYPD corruption, fire department, all this corruption you had on there, I am going to clear it out. I haven't seen anything from him yet. No commissions, no public hearing, nothing. It's like business as usual. Like I told you guys it would be. I would expect him to do that. He hasn't done that. And now
here's another question.
We have a guy leaving, with this person resigning.
Because it's not just Minneapolis. It seems like Tim Waltz, he's trying to, we have these riots all over when something like this happens.
Right now they're going on as we speak.
Is it happening in New York?
I think they had some protests a night or two ago, the minute this started. There was a shooting, I believe, with the NYPD involved, which when tensions flare, that also happens. And I always was a big proponent of, why is something happens in Minnesota, why is it now coming to New York City? It has nothing to do with just happening. There's no ICE agents doing that in New York City, right? So why?
Well, they're doing those
in Minnesota. It's an incident, and now the rest of the world must pay for this, and that's what the feeling is. And of course, they're bussing people in. All these
rally and
NGOs. Does it say anything about the new rally?
Yesterday they had a rally, but I don't know if there's going to be another one. I mean, I just think this is like a secondary George Floyd, where they're trying to just provoke chaos all over the place.
Well, now I guess you're going to have a lot of those social engineers out there, right?
Oh yeah, look here. Other people are putting out the cell phone footage.
Yes, this video is going to be by tomorrow. It's going to be super viral. That the moment that you see that ICE agent got hit by the car. I understand that you may not like it, like you may not like the president, but he's your president. Just like you didn't like when Biden was president. This is the way it works. So you might not like his tactics. I think they were terrible. They should be condemned. I don't know why you would do that. But is he justified? The answer is going to be yes. They will justify him. They will give him immunity or indemnify him for that incident, and then good luck suing the federal government. You'll be there for the next 100 years. Her entire family, if they try to sue, will be there forever. They will stall. They will play games.
Yeah.
They control the courts. This is a system. The federal one is going to be the hardest one to ever try to break if you're going to try to sue them, because it's designed that way. They control everything. You gave them so much power. It's going to take decades to try to take just a little bit, peel a little bit of power away. So, again, I don't like the incident. It's ugly. It's a tragic thing. This woman died, right? And that she doesn't deserve to die. But it happened when you jump into an incident that maybe you should have just stayed in your car and mind your business, or
stay
observe
away
from a distance. I don't know how you want to be
or
part
just
of the
don't
act.
drive. They're trying to, like, oh, she's trying to get away.
Yeah,
they
right.
tell you to
Great.
stop. You can't try to get away.
Trying to get away. But that's the issue. So again, going forward, you got to really think, and we've seen too many of these things. When you are observing, you observe. You don't become part of the act.
Even in New York, they do have those lawyers who are wearing like maybe green vests who are, they are observing. The lawyers do stay out of it. They're watching.
They will not jump in there. They're smarter than that. They know that can happen. This is what I'm trying to tell people, is that what happened.
Oh, except for those ones that throw the Molotov cocktails. But then she got off anyway.
And by the way, that female got off with a very light sentence. Why? Because of cronyism. They know people.
My man Dami's probably going to hire her to do something.
He might make her deputy mayor. Well, he doesn't want as many deputy mayors as the last guy, because as you know, what could happen there.
What is Kaz Daughtry doing now?
He already left the police department. He retired, I believe, on the 8th. So today, that's a couple of days ago. So did he try to get that deputy director FBI job? I mean,
isn't today the 8th?
Today, yeah, he should be.
Oh, yesterday.
Yesterday he was gone, so he's already out of a job, collecting his pension by the end of the month. So
he's going to make viral videos about deli sandwiches. That's what he does best. All right, well, Sal, we're getting a little bit rained out here, like a Marlins game in February.
Except that we have a roof. we closed the roof. Unfortunately, Citi Field doesn't have a roof. Even though they had the richest owner in baseball, they didn't think about putting a roof on the stadium in the last couple of years. But he does have a casino coming, so you have good news to Queens. But of course, remember the casino in the Bronx, the Trump casino over there. That's got Bally's. Just know Eric Adams.
Is that going to be a Trump casino?
Well, it's Trump got $175 million. Is his son? You should look into that. Why that happened? But hey. You can thank Eric Adams for that. He didn't go to jail for that casino. So every time you go to that casino, you should take a video and say, this is why the dirtiest politician in America did not go to jail. And you can point at the Bally sign and say, what a wonderful world it is. If only I could be a criminal like that and have, become the mayor and then get in trouble and be able to sell the casino and veto that and give the president's family the casino, I wouldn't be in jail either. But that's the way the world works. If we don't like it, but there's nothing you can do about it. See what I'm trying to give you? It's the
really bad, really bad. People are going to go and visit salgreco.com.
Yes, please. And I get on the. As I'm trying to revamp everything, we get on the ground people that could take videos for things too. That was always something I wanted. Correspondence, but of course you need money to do that, and
Well, people can support that. Click on the support tab.
Correct.
Support the Sal Greco Show. You can choose any amount you want. People use their credit card, send money to Sal. You can also follow Sal on X at the Sal Greco. Tell everybody the other places too, Sal.
At the Sal Greco on X, also on Instagram, and of course the Sal Greco Show, which I highly recommend you watch Mondays and Thursdays at 11:05 a.m. You can watch that streaming on X, on at the Sal Greco, also on Rumble, the Sal Greco Show, on YouTube, the Sal Greco Show, and follow me also on the Sal Greco Show on Instagram, at the Sal Greco Show, and TikTok at the Sal Greco Show. You get a little bit of everything.
Now, speaking of Rumble, we forgot to talk about Dan Bongino, who's been going on a block marathon.
He's blocking everybody, so he might be blocking me next. Because
but how ridiculous?
I know you're a zero cop, Dan.
How ridiculous is it of him to sit on a podcast saying like, oh, the deep state, this and that, and then when he finally gets into a position where he can do something,
he does nothing.
He really didn't do anything, and then he left. Did he even explain why?
Like a walk, I think.
Did he even explain why he left?
He never explained it. You just see how Florida works, by the way?
Yeah.
It's just a sun shower. So he explained it, I believe. He was like the man. He was going to change everything. Epstein file.
Right.
Remember what he did to him? He was going to find the January 6th pipe bomber. Right. They found a patsy. Okay, it was ridiculous.
Autistic kid.
Autistic guy that doesn't even play the role. I mean, he doesn't even know what he's alive or dead, the poor guy. This is who they picked as the guy for the January 6th pipe bomber guy. You know why? Because that was one of his promises, Dan Bongino. So he is, by the way,
but they also only picked him.
Cop, by the way, he was a.
They only found that guy after your buddy Kyle Seraphin started talking about somebody else being the bomber.
Correct. So that
the
was
whole thing is screwy.
He went after Kyle Seraphin because see, this is the thing. Kyle knows police. Well, whether you like Kyle or not, another guy. Kyle comes from the system. He knows the FBI well. Dan Bongino, if you remember, came from the NYPD, right? Did nothing there. I don't know what he did. Nobody knows what he did there. And from the NYPD, he went to Secret Service. He was Secret Service. He doesn't know anything about the FBI. How the hell do you give this guy the FBI director job? I don't know, a deputy director, whatever they gave him, a second in command.
That's supposed to be even more operational than the lead director. Here, we got a nice background. Well, the sky's a little bit overcast.
It's a little overcast, but as you know, it just rained and now it stopped raining. And this is the beauty of Florida.
It's nice over there.
You know, we have this background, yes, but this is the beauty of Florida, folks. Plus, we don't pay state taxes.
That's good.
You do in New York City, unfortunately.
What's his name? The governor, Ron DeSantis, he wanted to eliminate property tax. I agree with that. You always hear these stories about people losing their farms or...
But then, with that, the problem is, where are you going to get revenue? You need that
sales tax, or I don't know.
Oh, that's the thing. And the sales tax go up.
Sales tax is all right because if you're rich and buy a lot of stuff, you're paying more tax. I mean, if you don't have to pay other tax, maybe I don't know.
But again, like I said, the state has a little bit of everything in it, and there's different crevices of the state. You could keep going down south. You could hit Key West. You know,
but just one last thing on Dan Bongino, Sal. He's coming back with his show. How is he going to have any credibility after being... I mean, if he was like fantastic in the FBI and then Trump left and somebody new came in and hired somebody else and then he came back to the show, that would work. But I don't understand how anybody but the biggest Bongino sycophant could even watch that.
Our problem with him is going to be this. He is part of this. If you're MAGA, these MAGA sycophants that think that no matter what is said or done, don't even if remember when a long time ago Trump said if I shot a guy, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that think, and you shouldn't. Listen, I like the guy. I voted for him 3 times. I don't agree with him on every little thing, and I hold his feet to the fire when I can on policy issues. But there's a lot of people that'll not do that. You can see them all over X, and they're going to do the same thing here. Dan is great. Dan did absolutely nothing. He said he changed the FBI. I don't know how.
How did he do that?
How did he do that? He didn't give you anything. He promised. He
said there's no there on Epstein. I mean, that's ridiculous.
There's no there, but he made a living, by the way. Talk about a grifter. He made a living every day talking about that.
Yeah.
I've seen things, I know things, and then
nothing.
There's nothing there. Don't even talk about it. It's over. FBI is great, which I'm
You're
like,
black-pilled if you...
Yeah, now it's the complete opposite. So you realize what kind of a fugazi this guy is, and it's up to you if you're going to follow this guy. He's entertainment value, yeah. He's another wrestler in the WWE that you could choose to follow, you know? I'm not going to say he's not the Ultimate Warrior, that's all the cute people, but he's in that realm where he's a bit of a con man, you know? And I don't care if he blocks me. He came from the police department. I know this culture very well. He sounds like one of those, we're going to say, the best way to describe it is like a locker room Joe or Joe Cop. Joe Cop, that's what he is. He has all these great ideas that he never implemented, never does, but everyone listens to him and thinks he's credible, and somehow he ends up being one of the main patronage people of the MAGA movement, and right next to Trump, and Deputy Director FBI.
It's just because he's been running his mouth on Fox News.
But yeah, another one. So
and Rumble. He owns Rumble,
let's
big
make
investor.
this clear. If you show up on Fox News, I know Trump watches it, you don't get any extra followers. Nobody gives a damn whether you're on Fox, Newsmax. It doesn't make a difference. You know how it matters? This right here. People go to the internet. It's the number one
where
thing.
the good information
They want to see real news, not this patronage club, this exclusive club of Trump sycophants like Dan Bongino. You have to be fair and objective. We could just sit here all day and tell you Trump is the great. I can't do that.
You know, I was on the Dan Bongino block list way before it was fashionable. Do you know why?
Why? Because you called him out on something?
Well,
that was it. That gets you blocked.
Before I even realized I was blocked by Dan, I don't think I was even talking about Dan Bongino, but he was represented by Stephen Biss. I think I got blocked for calling out Stephen Biss. And Stephen Biss is the worst of the worst lawfare operatives. Actually, somebody contacted me, said he's still alive, that he had a stroke, so he's not a lawyer anymore. But he was representing Bongino in all kinds of lawfare lawsuits that Bongino lost. I forget who he was suing, but he had to pay them. That guy's breaking the rules. It said no bicycles.
Yep.
He doesn't care. But Bongino is a lawfare guy. He's dishonest. I really dislike Dan Bongino. And listen, whatever. People want to watch him.
To me, look, he's another form of another personality. You could take what he says with a grain of salt. You think he's telling you the truth. To me, he was in the government.
WWE.
He did nothing. He's a failure. Now, if you want to continue listening to him, that's going to be on you. But you already know that given the position he was in, he did absolutely nothing. He lied to you, just like he's going to lie again. And this time you're going to be out there giving money to him. He's not doing anything to help anyone. He helps himself. And look, I met the guy.
Oh, you did?
He walked right by me. First of all, he's I'd say about this tall. He's about this tall. He acts like a big tough guy. You could put 2 of me in him. I don't know if you realize I'm 6'3". I'm not a little guy at all. And I tower over the guy. He walks up to me, he goes, hey, and he just keeps walking. And I'm not chasing anyone.
Where was that you met
This
him?
was at a TPUSA thing. I would happen to be there. And of course, Roger Stone, who happened to be in a booth giving an interview. So he saw us, but he just kept going. He flaked everybody. And he went somewhere and I saw him and I'm like, everybody was looking at me because it was a hot topic, my lawsuit and all this stuff. He didn't care. I mean, he's an NYPD guy.
You bring up another Dan Bongino failure.
He doesn't care about me or NYPD guys.
He's at Turning Point USA, but they didn't tell us anything factual, it seems, about Charlie Kirk's murder. That's all nonsense.
That's another thing which you also went to. You went to Utah. You were trying to uncover that little mystery. That is still a mystery to this day. We don't know what happened there. We don't know what happened. These people love to, and this is why you need to question everything. This is why you need to follow Jason's hard work here. I would watch Jason 1,000,000 times over before
Bongino.
I watched Dan Bongino.
But
and I come from NYPD like him.
And you know what, Sal? Thank you for saying
Joe
that.
Cop.
But there's a lot
Tough guy.
of indicators out there that there is some mechanism for picking winners and losers, whether
Correct.
it's in court, whether it's on social media.
Especially in social media, especially in these political circles.
Yeah, they
You know?
boost and they deboost. But anyway, Sal, it's been a great visit here to the International
Beautiful.
Fishing Pier
You see,
at Deerfield Beach.
Right next to Hillsborough. There's a lighthouse not too far from here as well. You saw a little bit of everything. You got rain, you had the bridge going up. You didn't see any pelicans today.
We'll
We
bring
saw
the
birds.
pelicans next
We saw
time.
the birds. You saw a brand new deck. Nobody's really seen this. They just redid it.
Yeah, no, that
It
was
a
good.
beautiful town, and we had a nice discussion about everything. And you guys should follow, once again, Crowdsource the Truth. These are the kind of people that give you the real citizen journalism, and you can't miss the views. You never know. One day he could be in Santa Monica, next day he's down here,
True.
he's in Deerfield, then he's back in New York City on the High Line, which I've never been. I arrested people underneath there, but I've never been on the
Wow.
High Line, so it's one of my bucket list checking off.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just maybe now I could come to New York City because Eric Adams won't try to flake me with his guys. But I want to do this at least one time in my life, is walk this High Line, which I used to see. I remember when they were constructing it.
Yeah.
But I
It's only
never
like 10 or
walked.
11 years ago.
Yeah, I never walked it myself, and now it's completely finished, and there's all these things, and I want to see it.
Absolutely. Well, people are going to follow you on X at the Sal Greco and go to salgreco.com. Don't forget to follow me at JG_CSTT. You can sponsor Crowdsource the Truth on subscribestar.com or patreon.com/crowdsource the truth or crowdsourcethetruth.substack. We got to get you on some of those, Sal, and start doing some sponsor exclusive shows. But thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great Friday, a great weekend, and see you.